Welcome back, everybody. Today, we're diving into something that I find super intriguing. It's this idea of using just the first few minutes of a stock's trading day, you know, to maybe predict where it might go for the rest of the day.
Oh yeah, this opening range breakout.
Yeah, ORB. Sounds almost like a superpower, right?
It does. It's all about leveraging a really short window of time to identify potential opportunities. Imagine just glancing at a chart for just 5 minutes and getting a sense of, where a stock might be headed for the rest of the day.
That's wild. So what makes that little 5-minute window so special?
Well, that opening range, typically the first 5 minutes of trading, it's kind of like a price discovery period. It's where those early buyers and sellers are really clashing. They're establishing that initial range. And traders that use ORB, they believe that breaking out of this initial range, it can actually signal a pretty strong directional move for the stock.
Because the stock is kind of like whispering its intentions, and we're trying to be those super sleuths and pick up on it.
Exactly.
Thank you for tuning in to Quantopian's Quant Radio, your AI-driven podcast exploring everything related to quantitative finance. If you enjoy this episode, don't forget to like and subscribe to stay updated on future releases. For more quant-focused content, join us at community.quantopian.com. There you can explore a wealth of resources, connect with fellow quants, engage in insightful discussions, and enhance your skills through our extensive range of online courses. Quant Radio is intended to help people develop their knowledge and skills in quant finance. This podcast is not intended to provide investment advice. And now, back to the episode.
Well, for this deep dive, we've got a research paper and some really cool stuff on quantconnect.com. And, some of the results are pretty amazing. I think the research paper showed that back in 2016, the ORB strategy, it really beat a simple buy and hold approach, sometimes by 15% even.
It did. But it is really important to remember, past performance doesn't always guarantee those future returns. What worked well, back in 2016 might not be as effective in different market conditions. And also the strategy, it's not for every single stock out there. It focuses on what traders call stocks in play, stocks that are seeing a ton of trading volume right from the opening bell.
So for someone like me who's, fairly new to all this trading lingo, what exactly does that mean? What makes a stock in play?
So stocks in play are the ones that are attracting a lot of attention from traders, often because of news events, earnings reports, or other factors that are really, really moving the market. This increased volume, it suggests, that there's a heightened level of interest.
Right.
And potential volatility.
Got it.
And that's what ORB traders are really looking for.
So we're looking for those stocks that are already showing signs of life. It's like catching a wave right before it gets really big.
Exactly.
But I imagine that, making trades based on just 5 minutes of data, that feels a little risky. How does the ORB strategy handle that risk?
That's a great point. And that's where, what we call stop loss orders come in. These are preset orders that will automatically sell a stock if it drops to a certain price. So it's a way to limit those potential losses. It's like saying, okay, I'm willing to take a little risk, but only up to this point.
Right. So you're not just blindly chasing gains. You're also protecting yourself on the downside. But still, 5 minutes feels so fast. How do traders even have the time to analyze all of this data and make a good decision in such a short window?
That is where things get even more interesting. This strategy often relies on algorithms and automated trading systems. These systems can monitor, thousands of stocks simultaneously, analyze their opening ranges, and execute those trades based on predefined rules, all within seconds.
Algorithms, trading bots. That's like a whole other world, isn't it?
It is.
But we'll stick to the ORB basics for now. One thing that I found interesting in the research was this debate about how many stocks is the right amount to include in this strategy. The paper, it used 7,000 stocks, which seems like a lot. Is that even realistic for a normal person?
It's a great question. And QuantConnect, actually, they looked into that. And they found that even smaller groups of stocks could be successful. So that could make it more, manageable for individual traders. It raises some interesting questions about diversification. How spreading your bets across, a larger or smaller number of stocks impacts the strategy.
Yeah, so it's about finding that sweet spot. Not too many, not too few.
Exactly.
Okay. Speaking of things to consider, I keep seeing this term ATR pop up, which I think stands for average true range, right? Can you break that down? What is that and why is it important for the ORB strategy?
Yeah, so ATR is basically a measure of a stock's volatility over a given period, typically 14 days. So it tells us how much a stock's price, jumps around on average. And this is really important for setting those stop loss orders that we were talking about earlier.
Okay, so you're saying that ATR helps you figure out where to set those stop loss orders. But how does knowing how much a stock, moves around each day, how does that tell me where to cut my losses?
So think of it this way. If a stock has a high ATR, meaning it's swinging up and down a lot, you're going to need to set your stop loss further away from your entry price to avoid being stopped out, prematurely by just normal price movements. But if a stock has a low ATR, meaning it's not moving around that much, you can set a tighter stop loss. And that can reduce your potential loss, if the trade goes against you.
Oh, okay. So high ATR, wider safety net.
Yeah.
Low ATR, more precise. There's a lot more to this strategy than meets the eye, huh?
There definitely is.
Cool. Well, let's keep going.
Yeah, definitely. And, that brings us to kind of another interesting part of ORB, the technology behind it. Quant Connect. They actually explored some different implementations using programming languages like Python and C#. They're pretty popular for building these trading algorithms.
Yeah, I'm no programmer, but I've heard of those. Python seems to be the hot one these days. What are the pluses and minuses of each when you're talking about ORB?
Yeah, you're right. Python is known for being pretty easy to pick up and use, so it's a good choice for beginners. It also has a ton of libraries specifically for data analysis and financial modeling.
Okay.
Which can be really helpful for implementing these trading strategies.
So Python's kind of like the user-friendly one.
Exactly.
What about C# then?
C#, it's favored for its speed and efficiency. It's a compiled language, which means it generally runs faster than interpreted languages like Python, especially when you're dealing with huge data sets or complex calculations.
Okay.
This can be a big advantage when you're in that fast-paced world of high-frequency trading.
Right, where every millisecond counts.
Exactly.
But even with the best algorithms, the best technology, isn't there always a difference between backtesting a strategy and actually using it, in the real world?
Absolutely. Backtesting is really useful for, evaluating how a strategy might have performed in the past. But it can't perfectly replicate, all those little complexities of live markets. For example, one key difference is the timing of those stop-loss orders.
Ah, okay. So why is the timing different in backtesting versus, real-time trading?
Well, in backtesting, you're working with historical data, right? So everything is nice and clean. You know the exact prices, at which stocks traded in the past. But in live trading, prices are moving all the time, and there's often a little delay between when you place an order and when it actually goes through.
Right.
And this is called slippage, and it can really impact how well your stop loss works.
So slippage is kind of like you're aiming for a target that's moving.
Exactly.
By the time you shoot your arrow, it's already gone somewhere else.
Yeah.
And this is especially a big deal with a strategy like ORB because it's all about those, really short-term price moves. Even a tiny little delay could be the difference between a small loss and a much bigger loss. So backtesting, great place to start.
Yeah.
But it's not a guarantee.
Right.
You still need some of that experience and that gut feeling.
For sure.
This has been super insightful. I'm starting to get why people are so drawn to this ORB strategy. It's almost like you're trying to crack a code, like reading these little subtle signs and making decisions.
It's a really fascinating blend of data analysis, the technology, and like you said, a bit of intuition.
But before anyone, goes all in on ORB, what are some things to keep in mind?
Absolutely. The first thing is trading always has risk. No strategy, no matter how good it looks, is a guaranteed way to make money.
Right.
So it's really important to start small, manage your risk carefully, and never invest more than you can afford to lose. It's also really important to keep learning and refining your approach. You know the markets. They're constantly changing. So what worked, yesterday might not work today.
Right.
Stay curious, stay informed, and always be ready to adapt.
Yeah, it's like anything you want to get good at. You gotta put in the time, gotta practice, gotta keep learning.
Exactly.
Well, we started this deep dive talking about, the power of those first 5 minutes.
Yeah.
And I think that idea, it goes beyond just ORB. In a world where everything is so fast and there's so much data, being able to, quickly look at information, see patterns, and make smart decisions, that's super valuable. Whether you're a trader or anything, really.
I totally agree.
It's like that old saying, don't sweat the small stuff.
Yeah.
But maybe it's more about focusing on the right stuff even if it's just for a tiny amount of time.
It's really about recognizing those key moments, where the opportunities pop up and being ready to jump on them. Just like with ORB, sometimes, the most important insights, they're right there in front of us, just waiting for us to notice them.
Yeah, it's really cool to see how a strategy that was made for, high-speed trading can lead to these broader kind of reflections.
Yeah, it shows how, knowledge is all connected, and exploring one thing can often shed light on other areas of our lives.
Well, this has been a fantastic deep dive. I really want to thank you and all of our listeners for joining us on this exploration of ORB.
It's been a pleasure sharing these insights with you. And remember, learning and discovery, it never really stops. There's always something new to explore. And the more we understand about the world, the better we'll be at navigating it.
So until our next deep dive, keep those minds curious, keep those questions coming, and remember, sometimes the most powerful opportunities, they're hiding right there in those first 5 minutes.